Hello, good evening, and tonight, some added Wild Wild West, hence my cowboy hat. We're going to be talking about maybe 5 new tactics that we have sort of stumbled upon and uncovered. Even after 22 months, things remain a mystery. Like, dice, high stakes with this stuff, and we're going to get into it tonight. 4 new tactics. Well, I got to use the props. Use the props.
I don't always know where she comes up with this stuff.
Gotta use the props. All right.
Okay.
All right.
That's what she wants. I want to talk about the weather.
No, we're not.
21 degrees here in Roxbury, Connecticut.
We are going to be talking about, where's my banner?
I don't know. I'm not I wrote the content for the banner.
I know, and now I
set
can't
up the
find
studio lights on the microphone.
I know.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But control of the studio.
We're going to get into it
over here.
Do you want to have, Trevor? Do you have any preference?
Do I want to have pizza?
Yes, I know you always do. So if you're with us, say hello, tea. Kim Williams. Hello, Kim. Hello, Vicky Stotts. Mwah, mwah.
Hello, Kim. Hi, Vicky.
All right. So let me just give you a rundown to keep you here, all right, on what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about for loans over $500,000 and if cash flow is asked for and how the credit score could impact that. We're going to be talking about the famous 2202 and how you can potentially be doing some new things with the 2202 that are totally within reason, within guidelines, within boundaries. And
we definitely have some updated guidance at long last from SBA on how best to prepare a 2202.
And then also this, everyone, you are going to love this.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about maybe is it time to contact your politician. Did we just say that out loud?
No, you did not really just start the show by saying that, right?
But we're not going to get into that yet because we're going to keep you hanging on.
P&I Grill Burger Pit and Chase Campbell. Chase Campbell, you're going to want to hear what we're talking about cash flow.
Hey, Grill and Burger.
Which will answer your question, Chase, as to why I haven't yet responded to your question about doing that. So thank you, Chase. You're pretty darn good yourself, my brother.
All right. So,
Kim, I'm so glad you caught us live too. By the way, Kim, I am totally digging that hair color. That is the bomb.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into it straight away. Shall we start with, since Chase C is with us, we should
get
cash flow analysis for the Form 2202.
I am clay and putty in your hands, Linda Ray.
Okay.
All I am is the measly loan officer.
All right. Well, let's start with.
I'm here to answer those questions.
All right. I think we've done at least 5 videos on Form 2202.
Oh, we're going to start with that, not cash flow. Okay.
Oh, I know. I said cash flow, but debts and cash flow, whatever. All right. So it's changing it up. So much for the script.
Hi, Kez.
So why don't you, Edgar, hi. Why don't you kick us off with Form 2202?
Oh, Kez is Edgar. Hello, Edgar.
Yes,
okay, so 2202 is the SBA's disclosure of liabilities that you have in the name of the business entity only if you are an independent contractor, unless you have an LLC with an EIN, a federal employer identification number, and a bank statement, a bank account in the name of the LLC. Otherwise, if it's in your name as a sole proprietor or independent contractor, you will not have any business debts. To be clear, 2202 is for business debts that are in the name of the business entity only. Okay, so we got some further insight from a senior loan officer at SBA who gave us the list of what they will look at when looking at debts on 2202 and what they don't look at. Do we have a banner?
The banner's up.
It is? Where?
Form 2202.
Where's the banner with the list?
First of all, I cannot do a banner with that kind of list. It's too big of a list.
Well, did you do a PDF that we could show?
I didn't No, I didn't.
Because I don't. All right.
Oh, wait. So you want me to get? I can get.
Now I'm going to go. I have to go hunting around for it. No, that's okay.
I have
it's all right.
it flagged.
Oh, there's my grocery list. I went grocery shopping today because we're going to get a blizzard this weekend here in New England, and I wanted to make sure I had frozen pizza,
Okay.
Cheez-Its,
Hold on.
and Ben & Jerry's ice cream in the house.
All right,
yes, I got milk.
All right, I'm gonna do the.
Oh, are you? You're going to do it?
I got it.
Is that what you're going to do?
I'm gonna do
Is that
it.
what you're going to do?
It's gonna be. It's gonna. Yeah. For this. This is for loans over 500,000.
No,
It says.
this is for all 2202s. See, this is why I'm the loan officer.
Yeah. Is this
have
the
the
one?
list?
Is this the list right here?
Yeah, that's not the one.
That's not the one?
No, I converted that into our own format. Where is that list?
No, I don't have that. I don't have that.
Heavens to Betsy.
I don't have that.
Okay.
I honestly.
Can you just go to that list?
This is the list.
All right.
Honestly, I don't think you did because I would have remembered that for sure. All right, it's coming up, folks. I know you are on pins and needles for this.
Yeah, I thought we were better prepared for this. And
Hey, listen, it's free. This is free. You're going to have to suffer through it.
I'm suffering. Don't you?
You
worry.
are. I know.
I am suffering. Hello, William
All
Sargent.
right, this is it. This is it.
Kobina. Kobina, they ran your credit. We're so happy for you.
All right, so.
Ben & Jerry sucks. Thanks, P&I.
All right, this is. Are you going to talk? Are we going to just talk over like this? Look.
Well, I'm looking to see if I can find my own checklist, but.
Well, no, because now you're holding the folks up, and I can take this down while we wait.
All right, put it back up.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about 2202. Let me translate this into a language you can understand, because this was written by a loan officer in an email to us and one of our clients, and it's really poorly written, as are many of the SBA communications. We do not add mortgages on the property that is not deeded in the business name. Like, what the hell does that sentence mean? You got all kinds of double negatives there. We do not add that is not deeded. So bottom line, the mortgage on your personal residence does not go on 2202. But we started out by saying that. We've said that forever and a day, that personal debt does not go on 2202. So you will not put on. You will put on a mortgage if the business entity owns real estate, and you will also fill out, for loans above 500,000, you'll also fill out the collateral form and put the real estate on there. We do not add any debt that is in your personal name for the company, which basically is the same thing as we do not add any mortgages on the property not deemed the business owner, because it's personal debt. Do you see where I'm going with how confusing this is and why I rewrote this and sent it to you, but I guess we can't find it.
I honestly
That was the last time I'll throw you under the bus in this segment. Okay, here we go. We do not add any personal debt, such as mortgages and car loans or personal credit cards. This is starting to sound redundant.
Yeah.
Redundant.
Yes.
Redundant. That's the old Robin Williams shtick.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
So far, just to recap the first three bullets.
No personal debt.
No personal debt. And can I just add?
No personal debt.
That a lot of people are confusing like leases and rent as debt.
It's not debt.
And it's not.
That's a business
Those
expense.
are business, and that
and potentially, depending on how your CPA does, it might be cost of goods sold. It might be a deducted
and that's
expense.
where you should contact your CPA and have just a conversation about debt versus expense.
Wow, whoa. Okay, don't start telling people to call CPAs. You know why?
Oh, because they don't know either?
Don't get me started about how bad the CPAs can be. I had an exchange with one of our clients today where I asked him to review his tax returns in 2019 for what I call add backs, which we're going to discuss later in our show about cash flow. And his CPA's response was, well, they're kind of sort of the same, and it's not worth us disclosing this to the SBA at this time. I said, really? Because last time I checked, your CPA is not your loan officer. I am.
Okay. So, anyway.
Okay.
Back to the list.
Back to the list. We do not add the SBA EIDL or PPP loans, just any other, she puts SBA 7A, which also means SBA 504. See how bad this list is? This is why I rewrote it. So we've been telling all of you on your 2202 to put your SBA EIDL.
Yes, because it's a business
And if your PPP
loan.
is not forgiven yet, to put that on there. And then for monthly payment, just put NA. And then maybe put in the box for secured, NA. We've been doing that with our own clients' forms. Well, apparently
they don't count.
And the reason I came up with that idea of doing that is because I wanted to be very,
Transparent.
well, federal compliant.
Yeah.
I know how these federal folks think. And in my mind, without any other guidance from SBA, I thought, well, if your business has, and hi, Kim, thank you. If that paid for the Ben and Jerry's ice cream I bought and the frozen pizza, Kim. So thank you.
Yeah, baby.
The reason why we buy frozen pizza here in this part of Connecticut is we have no delivery here at all.
Michael knows. They don't know. Michael knows and they don't know.
Hey, Michael, it's good to see you. You handsome devil. As always, I compliment Michael every time he's on our show with that amazing profile picture he's got. It looks like, hey, man, what's going on?
It's like, hey, baby, how you doing?
Okay, no. That was so bad.
No, so bad.
Michael, yeah, the SBA told you to put it on there. And that's why, as a loan officer, my thinking was, well, we want to be transparent and we want to not give a federal agent who thinks that we're all criminals out here. I never wanted any of them to say, oh, you didn't disclose this. You didn't disclose this.
Yes.
Oh, the 22 declined. Unverifiable information.
Yeah, so we got.
And so that's why we recommended putting the EIDL and the PPP on there. Well, apparently they are not counting it, which we don't want them. They should not count it. Although, actually, by the way, as a loan officer, they actually should count it.
I know, it's a business
The EIDL
loan.
does go into repayment, but okay, anyway, whole other thing. I'm so happy, Kim, that we've helped you a lot. Okay.
All right, back to the
Let's go back to our list.
All right.
So it says we don't add SBA, EIDL, or PPP, just the 7A. Okay. Now, it's a very important note here about the SBA 7A loan or a 504 if you have an SBA 504, which is a real estate mortgage guaranteed or insured by the FBI at the SBA. Can you go back up? Put the banner back up, please.
Yeah, I just don't like having the banner.
I know, but there's a reason I want it back up. Okay. If you look at the bottom of the list here, we don't include any installment loans that will be paid off within 24 months. So, folks, if you have an SBA 7A, if you have an SBA 504, if that loan's maturity date, Hi, Kathy. If that loan's maturity date is less than 24 months from the date that you're filling out the form, you don't have to put it on the form. It's very important. A lot of these SBA 7As are 5. Sometimes they're 10-year loans. Sometimes they're 3-year loans. So if your maturity date is less than 24 months, don't put it on there. Next, we do not add accounts payable that will be paid off within 10 months. That means, so we had a client, he does custom vehicle manufacturing, and he sent us his liabilities list, and he had AP, which was like a psycho amount of money on a monthly basis, like $29,000 a month. Business does around 1.8 million in revenue. So we questioned him, and it turned out that this AP is what we call in finance net terms. Net terms meaning net 30 or net 60. So that means he's buying supplies from his vendors. They send him an invoice, sheet metal, tires, rubber, whatever, and he's paying that bill 30 days later, or he's paying it 60 days later. You don't have to put that on. It's only an accounts payable. So let's say you got supply of computers, and your invoice, which would be extraordinary if it did this, but your invoice is for 12 months, which is pretty good terms. You get the computers today, but you don't have to pay us for another 12 months. I'd like to see net terms like that. Then you would put that on there. So can we put the form back up, because we're almost done with our checklist?
Oh, we are good, because I'm trying to make sure we have. So people are following, if they're just chiming in.
So next is no sales tax or payroll tax payable. All right. This is important because we get folks telling us all the time about their sales tax and their payroll tax. No. First of all, I knew that already. You didn't have to put that on there. That's not a business debt. Business debt is a loan. It's a credit card. It's an automobile loan for the business. That's a business debt. And the last item is popping it back up.
Yeah. I just had
Try
to
to keep up.
refresh something.
Refresh.
Yes,
She's refreshing.
I'm very fresh.
Refreshing.
All right.
We do not include any installment loans that have been paid off in 24 months. This is important, folks, that you know the difference between revolving credit and installment loans. A revolving credit is a credit card or a line of credit from your bank or an equipment factored loan or an inventory factored loan where it's revolving. In other words, they give you a line of credit for $100,000, or your credit card has a $25,000 limit.
It's like
or
financing,
you're factoring
right? Equipment financing.
No, or you don't.
Well,
please, no,
I know.
No, don't interrupt. No.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, and it's something that you can literally pay. You can use it today.
Yeah.
You can pay it off in full tomorrow with no penalties, and that replenishes your full line. That's what we call in the trades revolving. See, revolving, because I can pay it off and I can reuse it. An installment loan is different. An installment loan is I bought a truck for the business, and the truck was $47,000, and my monthly payments are $439 a month for 36 months. That's your installment period, 36 months. And at the end of 36 months, I'll have paid off the cost of the truck, $47,000, plus the interest by making monthly installment payments. If that's a difference. Okay, so now we know the difference between revolving and installment. If it's an installment loan less than 24 months, it does not go on 2202. Linda Ray, take it away.
All right, I just want to recap that the list, in case you're just joining us, we're talking about Form 2202 and the possibility of certain items not being on the Form 2202. And this helps for that whole debt issue that the SBA is looking at, especially because cash flow is so important now, and they're really scrutinizing the numbers. I did put up this banner. You're going to have to take a screenshot of it at some point so you can have it if you want to refresh it.
Ray Medina, we're not going to post your question up because we cannot answer this question, sir or madam. If your business tax return, that sounds like an IRS issue. We're not tax accountants. We're here talking about the SBA EIDL loan. And if there's a problem with your tax ID,
you got to work that out with the IRS and the CPA, right? I mean, because
it's not something we can answer.
All right.
Sorry.
So
we do try to answer questions here. Folks, before we go further, just want to point out to you that a couple of things. A little housekeeping. If you are getting value from our time giving out free information and in a few minutes answering questions, please be sure to pop over to our Google review page and write a review. And if you want the guidance of what goes on in my head as a loan officer when I process our clients' EIDL loans, applications, and reconsiderations, we'll direct you to what's called our roadmap to reconsideration, which not only gives you insight into how I think in terms of guiding you for best possible submission, because your best possible submission will ultimately lead to a best possible outcome. But also we give you all the forms, templates, and everything you need. It's all there in the roadmap to reconsideration, and you can purchase that on the link that Linda's posting.
Okay. That is the sales segment of the show. Also, besides subscribing to our Simple Sense for Small Business, which is our Aurora Consulting channel.
I was going to do that housekeeping later.
Yeah, that was part of housekeeping.
All right.
All right.
Are we going to go to questions?
All right. Well, do you want to go questions or you want to go to the 2019?
Well, so far, except for Ray Medina, who I'm sorry we
Nobody
can't answer.
has
We don't have any questions. So, okay.
Let's go to 2019
All right.
tax
So we're
return.
going to talk about cash flow analysis. So it has been rather confusing when SBA released the rules and increased the loan limit to $2 million in September. There was no clarity on this cash flow analysis, but there appears to be clarity now. I say appears to be because on the SBA website, it says they're going to conduct cash flow analysis on loan requests above $500,000. It doesn't give any further detail than that. As a guy that does math for a living and has done math for a living for 30 plus years in the mortgage business, it drives me nuts that I don't know what the formula is because I'm trying to calculate our clients that have positive cash flow on their 2019 tax return. So I'm rambling on. Let's get right to it. So the SBA on a loan above $500,000 appears to be doing cash flow analysis. And what they are essentially looking at is your 2019 tax return and what is the net income after all expenses. And then they divide by 12, and then they take your monthly payment for the proposed EIDL loan above $500,000, and they divide that in, or they we assume there's a percentage and a threshold for the debt servicing. What that threshold is, we don't know, but that's how they're determining, depending on how much monthly cash flow you have, if you have the ability to make the payment on the higher loan above $500,000. So this poses an interesting quandary for a lot of business owners who may have bottom line income in very low digits relative to gross revenues, or negative income, or zero. Are you completely blocked from obtaining an SBA EIDL above $500,000? I don't think so. Leaning into my long career in the mortgage business, I already had the idea when I saw this and realized this was going to be a possibility for our clients. I already had the idea that many people on a tax return, whether it's personal or business, deduct expenses that are what we call one-time expenses. So, for instance,
A big purchase.
Well, any number of things. So we have one client. I asked him to analyze his 2019 tax return with his tax professional, and they came back. They said, yes, $84,000 in 2019 was spent on a massive marketing campaign, which, because of COVID, they have reduced that down to less than $10,000. So essentially, that could be considered a one-time expense. And he can document how that marketing program was implemented. We got a letter from the CPA, and we're putting that in file. So I'm hoping that the person at SBA who's working on the file will agree with me that it's a one-time expense, and therefore we can add that $84,000 back into the net income, and that gives us an extra $7,000 and change a month, right? So that's one concept, adding back. You also want to look at other expenses that have reduced post-COVID. Maybe you had you had 30 people on staff when you were, running your business before COVID, and now you've got 6 people on staff. So you've got a massive reduction in salaries. Well, calculate the difference, what your salaries are today, what they were in 2019, and add that back. You have to do this in a formal way. As we always say in our advice, never just send an email saying, "Dear SBA," you have to put it into a letter format.
But not a letter format where it's 3 pages.
No.
And it's a 2,000-word dissertation.
Keep it simple.
It has to be
brief.
factual.
And very factual. And I recommend getting this letter from your tax professional.
Yeah.
Your CPA or your tax professional on their letterhead, not yours. That's signed and dated. It must be signed and dated. And it has to be letterhead, because if talking as a loan officer, if I got a letter like that, I would pick up the phone and call the CPA. I want to verify it's a real CPA. It's not a fake letter. I want to discuss these expenses. So it's got to be very formalized. So this is one of the techniques that we believe can be used. And in fact, I spoke last week on the phone to a really good loan officer who told me, and he's also a CPA, he works for SBA, and he told me that he has approved multiple loans with cash flow issues. Thank you, Isal.
And he has a question, so we're going to go back.
Comes that. This loan officer told me he has approved multiple loans by adding back into the net income in 2019 either one-time expenses, or in 2020 or 2021 the business had fewer expenses that were, the expenses were higher in 2019, and you could demonstrate that. So there is a way, and again, as we always say, it all comes down to who's the loan officer who's working on your file. Speaking of loan officers, I had a complete moron working on a file. I mentioned her a few minutes ago about a client who does a customized automobile manufacturing business, and we got him $500,000. He had applied in May 2020, just like all the rest of you, and was declined due to credit and or unverifiable. I don't know. He tried it for months and months on his own. He hired us April or May of last year, and we got him approved in November. Was it November or December?
I don't know who you're talking about, so I don't know. Oh my goodness, that was forever, that guy.
I think it was November. I think it was October or November. We got him approved.
But this was the worst part. They finally reach out and they approve it, and then he still had to wait 2 more months until he finally got funded for some reason.
That's
Remember?
Right, that's right.
We were so happy, and then nothing. It went
we couldn't understand
black
it.
hole void.
And all of a sudden, one Sunday evening, I got an email or at 9:30 at night. He's
was
like,
funded.
Got the money. So he immediately rehired us to file new paperwork because his tax return, according to the published rules before cash flow analysis, says he's eligible for $1.8 million. Okay. So we put the package together, we send it in, and we get a moron working up the file at SBA. Why do I say moron? She calls him up and she says, you do not show sufficient cash flow on your 2019 tax return. By the way, this business has no debt.
No debt.
It's got a business credit card with a balance of $13,000. What's the monthly payment on that? $170, $200. He's got, $300-$400. He's got nothing, no debt. So she says, you don't have sufficient cash flow. I'm going to have to decline the loan. Now, for us, this drives us crazy. We tell our clients, do not speak to the SBA. Hand it over to Trevor. Because if she had gotten me on the phone and said that to me, I said, okay.
Whoa, wait.
Well, first of all, I would have asked her, well, can you give me the insight? What's the calculation? How do you folks do this? So I could do this myself. And she would have told me. And then while she was talking, I would have popped open the calculator on my desktop, boom, boom, boom. And I said, well, okay, if he's not qualified for $1.8 million, can you give him 1.5, 1.3? Can you give him an additional? Why don't you make him what we used to call in the mortgage business a counter offer?
Well, see, and that's why.
Instead, she just declined the loan.
All right, let's get to Izal. And I don't know if I'm sorry, I said he, maybe or she.
Well, but that's why I'm telling all of you, whether it's a loan more than $500,000 or an increase or a reconsideration decline loan. Our 3 Ps are patience, persistence, and process, but the 4th P is person.
Yeah.
Because if you get the wrong person at SBA, you are so screwed.
Okay, so
and then if it's declined, that's why we tell people just file another reconsideration. Okay, Isal. Deny for final appeal. Well, Isal, I think I just answered your question.
Yeah.
I just answered it because I said depending on the person who gets your file.
But you don't stop. You got to go. You got to submit it.
Oh my God, Isal. Not only you got possibly one of the stupidest morons at SBA
who don't know how to read.
Okay, so Isal, first of all, you are wrong, and I apologize for telling you that, but I mean it in a good way. No, your transcripts do not show AGI only. And by the way, you are correct in the second part. They do show you self-employed income, which is also Schedule C. So let's go back to the first part of your sentence. The loan officer said I did not have Schedule C. Yes, you do. Guaranteed it's on there.
It's on there.
The fact that the moron couldn't read a transcript. By the way, we did a show here.
We got to get a transcript.
Where I have shown, I think we showed one night.
No,
but I showed Linda one day on my giant 32-inch computer screen where I use for underwriting my files. I showed her what an IRS transcript looks like. And if you don't have the time to go through it line by line, and actually you've got to take a ruler like this and put it up against the screen and go like that, line by line. I used to, when I was a mortgage banker, I used to print them out and put them on my desk and like take the ruler and go like this, because the way the IRS has it, it has the line, line 2, line 3, line 3A, line 3B, line 3C, line 4, line 5. It's that. and it's in small print, and then it's dot, 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 way across the page. So unless you've got something like this to connect them, and you can do it on a computer screen too. But Isal, I guarantee you, your Schedule C income is on, not only is it on there under Schedule C, but it's also included in your adjusted gross income, assuming there was not a loss. So, Isal, this is why we say,
and this is
there is, and Edgar just asked the question
about the final.
We don't believe in final.
We just think that they're just,
we don't trust them.
They're just pushing paper around to justify their job.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, there's a whole variety of.
I think it is.
If you want it, we did a show.
I can have my opinion.
We did a show a couple of weeks ago when we were both sick here with COVID, and we hadn't done a show in a number of weeks, and I was having a particularly bad day with SBA, and I was ranting and raving. You remember that show?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was yelling at the camera.
There was just not enough.
Go and watch that show, and I'll tell you all the reasons why. So,
all right.
I don't believe in final declination letters generally.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you all of a sudden, I'm starting to see some emails coming out of SBA and some declination letters with detail where it is clear that someone has read the file.
Yeah.
So we had a situation with someone with non-immigrant status. And when I read the SBA SOP, Statement of Procedures.
Non-immigrant status or immigrant status?
Non-immigrant status.
Non-US?
Non-citizen. Sorry. Non-citizen.
So, but I shouldn't interrupt you, right?
Well, technically the person's not an immigrant.
He's not an immigrant, but he's not a U.S. citizen.
Correct.
Yeah.
An immigrant is a permanent resident alien card or asylum. Well, we only got that detail yesterday in an email from the SBA where they said to the person, permanent resident alien card or proof of asylum, and that the type of visa that this person has is not eligible. So there are starting to get a level of communication that we might actually have to say to some of our clients, yeah, this really is a final declination.
They're not.
But generally speaking, Edgar and Isal, my rule of operation here at Aurora Consulting is I don't, the SBA declination letters.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put them in my kitty litter box.
We don't have a cat, so that's good.
That's what I think of SBA declination. I thought that was pretty.
That was pretty good. I'm gonna have to make a GIF out of that.
This is my version of an SBA declination letter. Okay.
Well, and
if you are declined by our roadmap to reconsideration, we show you everything you need to do, all the forms that we use. Edgar's one of our clients. All the forms we have used for him and for all of our other clients.
But this is also the thing.
By the way, you get some declination letter dandruff.
Yeah. So this is the thing, Azal, which is why the final, and it can be justified
by whom?
By either, like, you know, if you get the CPA involved to write an explanation letter, depending on if they're not reading the forms correctly, or the, you know, like they get the transcript and they don't see your amended, your Schedule C rather. I mean, that's like, you can't just get to not declined and not fight if they're not reading. And they're not, you know, because the thing is, you can get your transcript, and we've had a whole thing on this. You can get it. It doesn't mean you can send it to them or that they're going to base their decision on you sending the transcript. You can
send it, but if they ask for it, but they will not base their decision on your transcript. Right.
But if
nice turn.
Thank you.
Phrase there.
But if you
get really good at this writing thing.
Whatever. Okay. So, but if you have if you know for a fact that there's an oversight with the financing or the figures or the financials, you know, like another perfect example. People are getting declined. Imagine if this was a final declination because your business entity cannot be found and its existence cannot be found. You're not going to just sit on that and say, oh, it's final, so I'm not going to send it in. No, you're going to fight it because you have your EIN
well, it just
number,
happened.
Your SS4.
This just happened 2 days ago.
Your filing receipt. Yeah, you have your articles of incorporation. You know, you're not going to not fight when you know for a fact that it's wrong. Okay, so.
Zeke, the answer to Zeke's question is yes.
Yes, but with a lot of asterisks.
Well, because we're not going to be doing for new clients what we're doing for current clients. Basically, all we're going to do at this point is prepare all the documents for you and give you a basic set of instructions, and that's it. It's one and done.
Yeah, because we keep. I mean, I think we did 4 times having to resubmit, and
but what you're getting is I underwrite your entire file from the perspective of 22 months, now almost 23 months of looking at these EIDL files, hundreds of clients, hundreds of approvals in excess of $30 million.
Yeah.
And then the paperwork that we assemble, we get complimented by clients all the time who have tried to do this on their own, and they say, oh my gosh, I just got your paperwork and I'm mind blown. I could never have done this on my own. So that's how we would take you.
I don't know if Baywatch Orlando is still here, but this is what I'm talking about. 5 months, all the required documents approved, and then declined.
Well, hold on. Just to be clear, Baywatch Orlando, your loan officer said they were recommending, because that's what they do.
True.
They say, I'm going to recommend this loan for approval, but it has to go to another team.
That's,
Which is just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you might have a halfway intelligent person who actually reads all your paperwork, and she says to you, okay, Baywatch,
I'm going to send it over.
You're good to go. And then it goes up the ladder to some knucklehead, overworked, overwhelmed, stupid, incompetent, inexperienced, poorly trained.
All right.
Or just wants to go home at 5 o'clock, whatever. And you could be torpedoed at that point.
Let's just get into
that happens, just file a reconsideration, and we have the roadmap to reconsideration to show you how to do that.
So this is the other thing we see this on a declaration, because sometimes they do give reasons you're declined. They may not be accurate because they're not digging in deeper. They're not looking further. They're not putting in that extra elbow grease. And one of the declinations, I don't remember who it was, I wouldn't say it if I did anyway, but that they could not find any record of her business existing, which I just was mentioning about a couple minutes ago. And this was part of the tactic of when we resubmitted for the 3rd time their file. I included her SS4 and her articles of incorporation as proof, along with the 3501, 3502, 2202.
What we've seen they say in the declination letters is your file was elevated to a loan officer who did not work on your file originally. I don't even know what the hell that means, because they have dozens of people touching your files. I don't know. That makes no sense.
You're so crazy.
Hi, Douglas. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
But we're seeing these declinations letters saying this new loan officer requested a tax transcript, and your tax transcript does not demonstrate the existence of a viable business. What?
Yeah.
Or the one that Linda's talking about from 2 days ago. It's a client in California, and they own a couple of drive-through artisanal coffee hutches or something like that. And it said that we tried to verify the existence of your business through public records and other sources, and requested documents from you for proof of business, and are unable to verify the validity of a real business, declined. Except they did not ask the client ever. Okay, I'm starting to lose my fucking mind here.
Whoa, F-bomb.
Doug, you know why I'm cursing, Doug, because you've been through it already, and it's just,
Yeah.
They never reached out to the client. This client is amazing. She gets an email, she forwards it to us right away from the SBA. They never asked her for a single document to prove that her business was viable. So that's why we say final.
Final.
And by the way, the letter said final declination.
Yeah.
Screw that. We sent in a new reconsideration yesterday.
But to Izal's question.
Sorry for the cursing, folks.
10 minutes ago, technically, there have been for almost 23 months that we've been dealing. We've overturned a lot of declinations, but this final, I think, there must be some new directive from management, because the EIDL ended December 31st, and they're just trying to get rid of a lot of stuff.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you where it came from. It comes out of the new directives in September 8th guidelines, where it's saying that appeals will be elevated to the administrator's office. That's Isabella Guzman. And that all those decisions appeals will be done at her level, and they will be final. Except she's not doing them, obviously. She's delegating the work. And, as we've said time and time again, the SBA is populated with a huge cadre of morons.
Yeah. So that was the proof of entity, submitting with your forms, with what we call as a jumpstart package. We have all the forms that's needed. We've gone through that in our video before. And now we're adding EIN, proof of EIN, the SS4. We have seen a lot of businesses that have been around for a long time where they don't know where this SS4 is. I think what you can call the IRS.
Let's move on from formation stuff because
it's important.
They're not reading it.
They're not. But they're declining for it. Okay.
They're declining for it.
So
because actually, you can look up most all businesses on state Secretary of State websites or other types of websites. I've done it, and you can find the business. So we had one client months ago who the loan officer emailed us and said, your DB or your L, whatever. He said, I checked the state of Florida website and I found this business, but I didn't find the DBA or something. So I sent a text message to the client who, thanks, Kim. I really get ticked off. Thanks, Vicky. So I contacted the client by text message. She was at her son's basketball game in the bleachers watching her son's basketball game. And on her iPhone, inside of 40 seconds, she went to the state of Florida website, located the document, and emailed it to me from her iPhone.
Yeah.
40 seconds. And the SBA moron couldn't find it. So that's why we say, you don't take no for an answer, folks. Just keep going.
Yeah. But, all too often, and this is the come to Jesus segment of the show.
This is one of Linda's favorite expressions.
I'm not really religious, but I mean, just it goes to the point of, I've seen a lot of stuff with how people react and how they handle paperwork. And and that's why we've done videos on sending factual affidavit style letters to explain something that happened, where you give, the figures and the dates and a brief explanation without disclosing medical because of HIPAA. But I've seen, when someone wants to inquire with us if we can help them, they send me the stuff they send to SBA, which I tell them not to do because I don't look at that stuff. The letters, 2-page letters on.
All right, let's go back to some questions.
No, but this is important because.
Go ahead.
Because people, they're so emotional that they want to explain, but it's
a waste of time.
Deaf ears.
You got to keep it like Mr. Spock on Star Trek, very logical. But before you go, let me just pop up a few things here because all right. So Pete, I'm going to just because I see the questions I want to answer. Mm-hmm. Peter, okay, so you're not eligible. So it sounds to me when we see that, it's either citizenship or resident alien status, or it is bad math on the part of SBA, which might mean that your business did not have revenue in 2019 or did not have sufficient revenue. If you want to come back, Peter, and be much more specific about your business, maybe I can answer. Folks, if you're going to ask questions, because I see the REE here is that I don't understand any of this.
I think it's about a grant. We don't talk about grants.
No, it's not just about a grant. But if you're going to ask questions, all we ask you to do is two things. Number one, take the time to type your question carefully. And number two, write a Google review after we answer your question.
I know Peter from the last time that sometimes you have a few comments because you're trying to explain it because Trevor says be specific. So you are trying to be specific. And this was before the not eligible. So this might be his
business
preamble.
Dissolved. If the business is dissolved prior to January 31st of 2020, Peter, it's not eligible.
Yeah. And then made into a sole prop? No.
No, not eligible.
Yeah, they're very specific about management.
That's why I said to you. I mean, so you're not eligible for the program. All right, there's another one I want to answer. So, by the way, REE, we're going to use one of your comments as a segue into our next segment about politicians. So, Baywash, this reason for declination is total horse crap. And I say that while Doug Freitas is here on the show with us because that's what Doug does. He does horses and cattle and stuff. See how I did that, Doug? It's horse crap. So we have a lot of files that we have done the original application, and which means that I get the emails directly. The client doesn't. I get the emails directly because we create a unique Gmail account for those. So those emails come directly to me. And we've had that declination, Baywash, literally 2 weeks after I submitted a 4506T, it was requested, or a bank statement or a voided check. And we've had multiple document submissions over weeks or even months. And then we get a declination like this: requested withdrawal, failed to proceed, inactivity. What? All right. So no. Okay. Doug, literally.
All right. REE.
Okay. So REE, we're going to use your statement here to segue into our next segment. First of all, I agree with you, and thanks for sharing this. If you were declined twice, don't give up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Where's my...
Now, historically, for those of our clients who are with us tonight, and those of you who have watched our shows previously or have watched our playback of our shows previously, we have always said, do not get the politicians involved.
Historically.
We're kind of sort of still saying the same thing at the moment, but I will tell you, to our clients who are watching the show, we're testing it right now.
We're testing it with...
We are beta testing it with 3 of our clients. Mm-hmm. One client has 2 businesses, and his siblings, who also own businesses, believe that they were approved after contacting their senator's office and getting an SBA liaison. And because of that, he asked for our permission, and I said, you know what, go for it. Let's give it a shot. So we're testing it with him. I will say this. He had to fill out a special affidavit for his senator's office, an authorization to release information. They then put him in touch with an SBA loan officer liaison who reacted very promptly and very professionally. Mm-hmm. The client responded to the email from the loan officer and said, I'm copying Trevor. He's my authorized representative. And I then interacted directly with the loan officer and submitted all of the documents. And within hours, the loan officer came back and said, okay, I've uploaded all the documents into the system, and we've ordered the transcripts, and put it on your calendar. Transcripts take 2 weeks. It was one of the best SBA emails I've seen in 2 years. So that's one client. There's another client who is working on a single company, and also these are both for increase modifications that were declined for increases, and that he had actually contacted the political representative prior to hiring us, and then they finally reached out to him. That loan officer is a moron.
Well, he's not responsive either.
He's terrible. No, he's also an idiot. Mm-hmm. And that turns out the loan officer on that file, I had crossed paths with him on a different file also, and I left a voicemail that he never returned. He claims to be inundated with hundreds of phone calls and emails, which is entirely true. But, I get responses from because when I email somebody, loan officer at SBA, it is very professional. It's very clear that I'm on their side and that I'm a colleague. And this guy didn't have the courtesy yet to this day, 3 months in, to respond. So we've got those 2 test cases. And then we were just notified 2 days ago, one of our clients who owns 10 businesses, without telling us, he had contacted his political representative and he spoke to somebody from SBA from the high priority team. And I'm going to talk about that for a moment because that's what REE brought up. And the high priority team said, we're going to get you all your files assigned to a single loan officer, which is what I've been asking the SBA to do for 6 months, so that they could, not only one person to work on the files, but somebody with the authority to work on all the files. So to our clients who are watching the show, we are running this test case to see how it goes. And if we feel it's a positive aspect, we will be recommending it as a course of action. But if you're one of our clients watching the show, please do not call your political representative tonight. Please wait for our guidance, because there's another problem with congressional investigation, which could put your file on hold at the SBA, and all the good work that we've done for you comes to a full stop, because that's typically what happens with a congressional inquiry, they call it. Now, SBA appears to have created a high priority team for the purpose of addressing these political risks. I've never seen it before. And the signatures from the loan officers in the email says high priority response team. So this is a very positive aspect. Stay tuned for our shows, folks. For our clients, stay tuned for our email communications to you, and we will give you an update on if we think this is positive. We know people say all the time that they were successful, but we think it's a matter of time.
It's a matter. We've always said we think it's a matter of timing because they were also waiting for months and months and months, even after they had contacted. I don't know. There's different stories, and just like Stephanie has said
Stephanie
here,
Seymour, another person with really cool colored hair. I love that fuchsia color in your hair there.
So
kind of matches Linda's hat. She's kicking me under the table.
Yeah, certain states have more luck than others. Izal was saying it's hit or miss. So everyone's had different experiences. We've had people say that the loan officer, like we had a loan officer, and the loan officer said, yeah, I was trying to work on somebody's file and it was congressional inquiry and I couldn't do anything with it.
I couldn't access
He had to
the file.
wait.
I was locked out of the file.
Locked out of the file.
And that's why we've often said on our shows here, the fact that you got approved after contacting your senator or your congressperson, you can't make the direct connection.
Yeah.
Because we also know from the hundreds of approvals we've got, hundreds of files we work on and still working on, how these SBA timelines can go months and months and months, and then out of nowhere you get action.
Chloe, are you? If you're still here, I glazed over this because I saw stamped IRS and amended return and IRS accepting. There's a lot going on here.
All right. Well, first of all, Chloe, I'm going to hazard a guess that the person who told you this was a customer service rep. If that's the case, ignore everything they sold you. If they told you it's raining outside, make sure you go outside with a pair of galoshes and an umbrella.
They won't stamp their 2019, so I can. So I mean, I don't even know if I chime in here and you can correct me where I'm wrong.
I know where you're going to go, so go ahead.
Maybe you don't, maybe you do. So there's a couple of frustrations that people have had that we've seen in the last 12 months. We've been doing this for 23, but the last 12 have been especially grueling. And the amended returns is already going to be a challenge, period, full stop.
Just on the IRS side.
Just on the IRS side. And we have people who have amended them summer of 2021. Okay. That's not going to bode well for timing of you having to wait. And then there's the stamped return, because they are not getting the transcripts in time. The reality is that the SBA can't just take your transcript that you give them or a stamped return that you give them, even if you went to the local IRS office, because it has to come from the IRS.
As an independent verification around,
because people
without passing through your hands.
Photoshop shit, right? They make shit
The whole purpose of the IRS 4506T to obtain a tax transcript from the SBA or for any lender in the United States for a mortgage or a business loan is so that you have independent verification directly from the IRS to the lender, not passing through the hands of the borrower, that the tax return was filed, and here's the numbers, because people put fake tax returns in the files. Okay? Now, the only reason you would be allowed to submit a stamped tax return or your own transcript is because you have a loan officer who says, listen, a good loan officer, a proactive loan officer who says, listen, the transcript, because they have a 4506T team, which is probably populated with the biggest bunch of idiots at the SBA. And the team sends out a transcript request and it comes back and your loan officer calls you and says, it came back, no record found. And you're like, oh my God. But I mean, it happened to one of our clients this afternoon. He said, my CPA, I wrote him back. I said, your CPA is not an idiot. This is because the SBA sent the wrong 4506T. I looked at your tax return. You have a good CPA. It's a good tax return.
Yeah.
So if the loan officer says to you, hey, listen, Chloe, I'm your loan officer. And by the way, the loan officers call you. You can't call them because you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So if you're calling the SBA and somebody on the phone is answering your call and answer your question, hang up the phone. You're wasting your time. Tune into YouTube and watch kitten videos. You're better off. Okay. But if a loan officer calls you, it says, I'm the loan officer assigned to your file. I'm working on it. It came back, no record found. Can you, Chloe, obtain a stamped tax return to prove that you actually filed your taxes, or a transcript to prove that you filed your tax? If you can send that to me, then, and I quote multiple loan officers I spoke to, and then, quote, I will request the 4506T team to once again request a transcript. Okay? And then that goes into the whole area of the incorrect and correct and defective and not defective 4506Ts. We've done multiple videos on those. So, folks, stop calling the customer service reps.
Yeah, they don't know.
Every time you call, they have to register a note in your file, and you know what that does? Makes your file thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And that means when somebody is really going to work on your file, they can't find shit in your file because you got 17,000 phone calls in there.
Yeah.
We get it in our little CRM here for our little practice. I can't find stuff because we get some clients who send us an email every day.
Every day.
And then I got to sort through 75 emails to find the question I asked them 3 months ago that they finally answered. So stop calling the SBA.
All right.
Wait for the loan officer to contact you.
Zeke, or he's asking if...
Well, I'm sorry. There was one other thing about amended tax returns. Very important. Folks, I'm going to tell you, as a 30-year, 34-year, 35-year financing veteran, if you have applied for a loan, in this case the EIDL, and after filing the application and or requesting an increase, you went and filed an amended tax return, I'm going to tell you what the automatic default position is for any loan officer anywhere on planet Earth. You're committing fraud.
That's what they're thinking.
They're thinking it. They're never going to tell you, but because we're trained not to say that to you. We're trained not to accuse people.
Right.
But it's what is the conversations that in the banking industry and the lending industry, it's the internal conversations. They think you're committing fraud.
Well, and this is the thing, because we had some people that were with us and they amended their return, and basically, you know, the thing is like maybe they just learned how to do their financing because they wouldn't have deducted certain things, etc. But you know, at that point it's too late because they already amended it.
It is my firm belief that there was a Reddit thread back in April and May of this year with these punk asses in Reddit.
Oh, and
don't get me started how much I hate Reddit. And some punk asses in Reddit told all you people out there in the world to amend your tax return so you can get more money.
No, but also wait, there's a legitimate, because of what the other thing we're seeing is the non-filer status
to get a stimulus check.
So I guess they have to amend their return because, like Chloe says here, if there were no numbers on the tax return, has my twin on record but no numbers. I don't know what that means.
I don't actually know what that means. So
I don't know.
If you filed as a non-filer to get a stimulus check in 2020 for the 2021.
In 2020? In 2020,
the IRS was allowing people to do this non-filer.
Oh, well, a lot of people don't file their taxes by April 14th. I've actually never not filed my taxes.
Let's go back to what we know. You know what we know? If you filed an amended tax return after you applied for an EIDL loan or an increase, it's an uphill battle.
You're going to have to fight. You're going to fight.
And if you have a tax professional, you should enlist their help to put things in writing to explain it to the SBA loan officer. Because for me, when confronted with an amended tax return, we don't even take clients anymore.
Oh, I love this. Thank you, Stephanie. Oh, that was my very favorite first advice. My first
Stephanie, rock star.
Okay. Where are we? Okay. Oh, so we talked about the politicians.
We talked about cash
where
flow.
We're beta testing it with some clients, and it's even that sampling is a hit or miss.
Well, so far, I'm going to tell you, overall, I'm not real thrilled.
Not thrilled.
I'm not really thrilled.
Yeah.
Because to me, considering how long these SBA loans take, and by the way, they actually are getting faster. We're starting to see, like we have a project called Jumpstart 2.0 that we've been working on with our clients, where we've sent in reconsiderations previously and either declined or no response, and then we are sending in another package and requesting it a second time or a third time or sometimes a fourth time. And we're actually seeing some responsiveness. I'm noticing as of this morning, around 21 or 22 days from submission.
Yeah.
And in December, it was around 30 days. Prior to October, November, it was 2 or 3 months. So we're seeing the timelines are shortening. We're also seeing there's with
with a lot of clients where we might have submitted their reconsideration last April or May or August or September, November, any one of those months in between. Nothing. And then we submitted an entire new full comprehensive package called a Jumpstart. And the average is 23 to 30 days
right now
of where SBA is getting back to us. Now they're not approving everyone yet, but they're declining some people for BS reasons that we've already talked about. You'd have to go back in the replay. All right. So Zeke wants to know, are the emails from the loan officers reaching out? I don't think so. Loan officers have their own emails.
COVID idle increase request SBA.gov is not an outgoing email address. It's an incoming. It's for you to send emails to the SBA. They do not send you messaging.
What you just said,
that.
You just said it reversed.
I did say it reversed. That's why I tried to fix it.
The EIDL increase is you sending an email to the SBA. So it's an incoming
to SBA. But SBA does not use that address for an outgoing email. They send emails from PDC Reconsideration 5, PDC Recons 5 at SBA.gov.
Yeah.
And you cannot reply to that email.
A servicing center I don't know.
That they collect your payments, shucks.
Oh, yes. That's post-closing, and they're going to ask you for...
that's just a standard servicing center letter.
Yeah.
It just means that your file is at the place where they're going to collect. What you want to do is set up an account at pay.gov. And it is at the point, folks, we're coming up on almost 24 months. So everyone has a 24-month deferment. And if you did not request an increase in the spring of 2021 or later and get approved for it, your original EIDL loan is coming up for its first payment in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So you should create an account at pay.gov and be prepared to start making payments. You can request another deferment. I don't know how that works, though.
On the 19th. Today's the 27th.
Well, William,
so 10 days.
The one thing that has nothing to do with the other, William.
That's true.
The fact that you got your transcripts in your hand doesn't have anything to do with the SBA process at all. Mm-hmm. I applaud you for being proactive, but it does not mean it. You got your transcript in the IRS. The IRS and the SBA are two different federal agencies.
Yeah.
So, Erica Brown
found the 22 to request the account transcript. Okay. I'm not following, but
yeah, we don't really follow that.
But okay. I don't see if there's any other questions. Did we cover all our bases? What about the credit score over 625? Did we get into that?
We did not. So, all right. So we'll run down the requirements for an SBA increased modification over $500,000. Minimum credit score is 625. Mm-hmm. And we mean real credit scores, not that crap. Not the crap you get here. That's garbage. Those are fake credit scores. They do not, in most cases, represent a real credit score. We know because we run real credit reports here for our clients. And, Michael. Bang zoom to the moon, Michael. So those credit scores are fake.
Well, they're not. They're not. That's not to say fake.
They're fake.
They're not used in the financial services space for the purposes of actual underwriting of loans.
Can I go off on a tangent here?
It depends.
Thanks, Michael, for sparking the flame under my butt. This whole credit monitoring nonsense that you all do out there in the world, it's total bullshit. You don't need to do any of this. You know what's happening when you download those apps onto your phone for credit? You know what it is? They're gathering data on you.
Yeah.
And for those of you who check in on your credit every day or every week, you know what they're doing? They're gathering data because then all of the back websites you've been looking at in the left, they're putting together data on what it is you're shopping for, and that's why you're looking what your credit score. Is my credit score good enough to buy a new car? Or to buy a new computer, or to change my cell phone plan? It's why the
ads pop up when you're on a webpage.
Where do you think this data is coming from?
Yeah, people. bought that shit.
People are saying Amazon's listening to me. I don't know, maybe they are, but it comes from that. So the other thing is these credit scores, and I say this to you, having read thousands and thousands of credit reports over more than a 30-year period. I've sat in the back of real estate, so I've sat in my bank. I've talked to our clients on the phone, and they're like, Trevor, I pulled up my credit score and it's a 670, and I run a real credit report, the same one SBA pulls, and I'm looking at a 604. It's garbage. And people argue with me about it. I'm like, okay, well, nobody in the financial services industry uses those crap scores. Here's the other thing. This credit monitoring and all that stuff. Folks, removing an inquiry from your credit report. First of all, an inquiry on a credit report, if you're trying to borrow money, it's going to be a hard inquiry. Stop with the, is it going to be soft? Is it going to be hard? This is total bullshit, okay? Second, if you have an inquiry, many times, thank you, Stephanie, many times, you got to send, can you copy that and send that to me by email? Stephanie, I need you to hang that above my desk and read that when I'm having a bad day. Inquiries. I say this again, having read thousands of credit reports. On our credit reports, what it says is it has your score, and it tells you all the reductions in score, the reasons, 4 points here, 8 points there, 12 points here, 8 points here. Here's what it typically says on a credit report for inquiries. Too many inquiries in the last 12 months. Next sentence. Inquiries had minimal or zero effect. And you know what the numerical value next to that is for reducing your credit score? It says NA, not applicable, because it's less than zero. Literally. So y'all are worried about this. And by the way, here's the scale. Sorry, I'm just ranting about credit.
I know, but I want to, as a regular person. If your credit score is above 680 and there's a hard inquiry, maybe 4 points, but usually zero. Next, if your credit score is between 620 and 680, maybe 4, very rarely 6 points. If your credit score is below 600, 8 points every time. And it's temporary, 90 to 120 days. So when you are using these stupid apps and they're removing we're going to remove an inquiry, you're actually committing fraud, by the way. Yeah.
Because if you gave a lender or Aurora Consulting permission verbally, in writing, etc.
We just got one today. He doesn't know it yet, but he's not going to be happy.
This client is in jeopardy of us firing him.
He's in jeopardy
because he used this app, and we got a letter today at our office from Experian telling us we have removed the inquiry. Except I have a signed authorization for it because I'm a formerly licensed loan officer. I know federal credit reporting rules, and I know how to be compliant with those federal regulations. We get it in writing, and we get a signature on it. And I'm going to send that to Experian, and they may come back to the guy and say, you attempted to fraudulently, remove an inquiry. By the way, folks, it's really, the credit bureaus take this stuff really seriously.
So we went through, we were vetted for 14 months to be able to be authorized. They don't just give out these.
They don't just let anybody run these credit reports.
We had to go through 14 months it took for us to get this. And so we take it very seriously. And we actually had where they just did a random, hey, can you send us the documentation on when you ran this report on this person? Absolutely. Here you go. Within literally 3 minutes. Email.
Our credit service provider.
She was like, wow, thank you so much.
Our credit service provider did a random audit, and and it's probably resulting for some schmuck who said, they never pulled my credit. And they requested, they picked a credit report out of, we think it was
John
random.
Schrock rocks.
And they said, please send us the authorization for this person. And we had it because we're organized. And within 3 minutes, I sent it out by email.
Is it single wing? I think there's an echo in here, unless you are also, hang on. Asked that? Zeke.
All right, well, hold on. Since we've got two people on the same show asking, it's entirely possible Zeke and single person that maybe all of a sudden, because we've had this happen on our show before. This happened with PO22.
Well, that's why this
It's
show.
possible something developed today that we haven't seen yet. So
Well, that's why
can't
we
answer the question.
That's actually why we came on today, because we did have like 4 or 5 new developments that we wanted to share with you. But we end up ranting.
But let me say this.
And then it's all.
Let me say this about this
convoluted.
email address. Listen, if it's not telling you that your loan's approved, if it's not telling you to send in documents so you can get your loan approved, if it's just some kind of informational thing, stop focusing on that.
Yeah.
Wait until a loan officer or some value, they say, please send in a voided check and a 45 stake. Oh, you know what? I want to talk about the portal.
Oh, okay. But, there's if you go to our community tab, which, you right below our cover photo on the dashboard, go to the community tab. I can't tell you what date it was, but we show you what it looks like when you get approved, or when you get an email with a letter that says your loan has been modified and it's increased, and they tell you in a PDF attachment. Anything else is just high hopes, false hopes, and everyone gets excited, and it's.
Oh, tell them about the reactivation email.
So what? Like, just that they send it?
Megan and Mark.
Yeah.
2 days ago, they got reactivation, then they got something else.
I don't even know what email that came from. Did that come from? Maybe that's why they're asking.
It doesn't matter where it came from.
That's the other thing. Whatever, if you get an email, if it says reactivation.
The client got an email that said,
explain.
We have reviewed your file and we have determined that it is eligible for reactivation, and your file will be assigned to a loan officer shortly.
Okay, so maybe this is what they're talking about.
And it's saying it might take. Yeah, reactivate my time. So it might take some time.
You still do nothing. You still do nothing.
Now you're interrupting me because I want to interrupt you. My job is to interrupt you, okay? Not for you to interrupt me. So this client, who we've been working on her file since April of last year,
Michael knows,
got an email 2 days ago. We're going to reactivate your file. This morning she got a declination letter. So Ricardo has arrived.
Yeah, baby. Ricardo.
We love Ricardo. Ricardo loves us.
Ricardo's mad. Okay. Oh my God. Are you actually? Have you been?
Thanks, brother.
All right. So go on.
Oh, I want to talk about the portal. Okay. So we're seeing this an awful lot. People are getting emails telling them to log into the portal and click on the request reconsideration button. Except then we log in, there's no, it's the old blue button thing. There's no request for reconsideration. We're getting clients getting emails saying, please log into your account. So we log into the account, except there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
There's no reconsideration button. There's no button to upload documents. There's no documents to DocuSign. There's nothing. Then we're getting the same email, and we're logging in, and we're seeing it's asking for documents. Okay, but here's a piece of advice I have for you, which I have done for many, many months, a redundancy, but also a really good loan officer told me 2 weeks ago, the portal is crap, quote unquote, from a really good loan officer / CPA at the SBA.
Yeah.
He said the portal is crap. So here's our advice for you. If you are uploading documents into the portal, bully for you. Excellent. Be redundant. Take the same documents, send an email to pdcrecons@sba.gov if you're fighting a decline loan. If you're fighting a declined increase loan or an increase request, send it to COVID EIDL increase requests, plural, at sba.gov.
Okay,
send the same documents in as a redundancy as you uploaded into the portal.
So now Zeke is saying he did get an email. Thank you, Zeke. I appreciate that. And that it was from the EIDL increase.
Okay, so they must be using it now.
Okay. That's good. But you know what? This is This is what you want to pay attention to when they're actually asking you for stuff. And that. All
right, so Zeke, just make sure you watch our videos before you submit a new 4506T, so that our videos show you the best and correct way to submit.
There's an entire playlist. I have segmented our channel so you can go and only watch videos on 4506T, only watch videos on 2202, only watch videos on PO22, only watch videos on credit inquiries.
Tell them about the previous address, current address on 4506.
Okay, so this is well. See, this is
I
where
want
it's
you to explain it
troublesome.
because I'm going to lose my brains if I say
But
it.
this is the troublesome part, and why when we tell Zeke that it's only an incoming email, right, from an applicant versus SBA now, it's an outgoing as well. But the 4506T has specific instructions. I know if y'all watch us on a regular basis, you probably have already heard us say this at least 12 times. But the instructions have where you put the previous whatever address was on the 2019, you put as the previous, because if you moved, you put the current as the current, but you put the address that was the previous as it was listed on the 2019 tax return.
In the box that says
in the
previous.
box that says previous.
That's the instructions from the IRS.
But
If you read the IRS instructions.
But this is where SBA has tripped up everybody, and now we actually don't even know if you send it in. So this is what they told us.
No, we do know.
Well, we do know, but it's wrong. They told us you can't put current and previous because it doesn't match, and the IRS will reject it. It's like, well, I think the IRS knows how to read their own form, right? Okay, but no, SBA says no. And the SBA won't accept the 4506 team.
Essentially what's happening is, that's why I said before that the SBA's 4506 team is populated by the biggest group of morons at SBA because they're behaving like gatekeepers. We get
Look at this. Nice. Awesome.
That's congratulations,
This is
Isal.
in real life success, excitement
Did
happening.
this just happen while you're on the show?
Oh my God, I just got an email from Recons.
Isal, you're welcome.
So now,
okay?
Isal-
Because I texted the president, okay? I said, Joe, get Isal's file. You're welcome.
So
we got the politician involved.
Isal got
I'm
it
only
from
kidding.
Recons.
I'm really only
Zeke
kidding.
got it from EIDL increase. It's madness. That's why it's the Wild Wild West. This is why I'm
Things can
wearing my
happen.
hat. This is my cowboy hat because it's the Wild Wild West.
So let's just real quick on the 4506T, why I say that they got idiots over there is because we've had all kinds of pushback in emails from the SBA saying the IRS will reject or will not accept this 4506T because, and here's a bunch of reasons, the address doesn't match, the spouse has to sign it,
Yeah.
the other business owner has to sign it.
Yeah.
What? No. So if you file a Schedule C, that means, and you're married, yeah, times you have to send
Oh
it in.
gosh, that's right, John Schrock. He's
good, John.
the neurosturgeon joke.
Oh, neurosturgeon.
Remember that joke?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know that the John Schrock comedy show is coming to HBO Max in the fall of 2022. Make sure you tune in and stream it on Hulu if you can.
That's the 4506T for
John's comedy special is coming up, and he's also negotiating with Scarlett Johansson for
See? Now let's go back.
Comedy-
It's
comedy
been an
movie.
hour. It's been an hour. Isal was the one that had the final appeal, and now he just got.
This is why we're telling you these letters.
What?
Well, here's my
This is where's the rolling
Wait,
the dice? We're rolling the dice, people.
roll the dice.
Look,
Here's the dice.
Here's the dice. This is just craziness. Just craziness.
And here's the SBA declination letter.
Oh, wait. Where's my wait?
SBA declination letter. Isal is literally living, breathing proof.
This is real-time
He
proof.
gets a declination letter.
What?
It says final. I said to him, Isal,
Okay.
take the letter, tear it up. And now he gets an email saying we're working on the
Oh, no,
file.
I'm going back to Isal where he says, have you guys ever seen where they might overturn a final appeal? Where is that? That was hours ago by now. Oh my gosh, where is it? I got to find it. You guys are going to suffer through me finding this. Yes, I am going to find it. Oh, it's way back. I may not.
Peter Akbari, I'm just seeing you saying here, your business
it
was
is.
dissolved.
I found it.
Isal,
There
living,
you
breathing
go.
proof.
Living-
Okay, Peter is asking, you don't have to put up the comment, but Peter, where you're saying your business was dissolved in 2021. If your business, folks, if your business is dissolved, if you're out of business, you are not eligible for the SBA EIDL program. They are only lending money to businesses that are still active. Now, yes, we know that some of you are out of business because of the SBA.
Yeah.
So we talked about the portal a moment ago. Let's talk about SBA defaults.
Actually, so, all right, but before you do that, I do want to say
Declination letters.
I'm never going to find that one particular question, but somebody did ask if people are out of business because they didn't get the loan, what happens?
Nothing. I'm going to tell you right now what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I'm interrupting you.
Okay. Here's what's going to happen. So this is my taxpayer government waste speech. Are you ready?
Yeah.
First of all, with COVID, with or without assistance, many businesses have failed. Secondly, SBA's massive dysfunction has literally failed to help businesses get the money they needed to stay open. And businesses have failed because of the SBA's dysfunction and failure to do its job and to honor its mission of lending money under the program. Okay?
Okay.
Now, many of these businesses that failed got the original EIDL loan. Mm-hmm. And as I said a few minutes ago here in the show, all of you who got a loan in 2020.
You can't say all of you because people who are watching us are.
Well, okay, let me finish.
Yeah.
This is why all of you who got a loan in 2020
Mm-hmm.
who did not subsequently get an increase modification,
Mm-hmm.
whether you filed one and didn't get approved or got declined or you just never asked for it, doesn't matter. If you never got an increase modification after spring, summer of 2020, your first payment's coming due very soon.
Yes.
Because you were deferred for 4 months, originally 12 months, and then through Congress and through December 27th of 2020, they extended the deferment to 24 months. But those payments are coming due for all you viable businesses, and guess what other businesses? All the businesses that are out of business, which means those loans are going to default. Guess who pays for defaulted loans?
Let's take a guess. I want you guys to put it in the comments if you want to take a stab at this, the answer to this question.
It's one word. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Taxpayers.
Hey, hello,
Okay.
Theodore. Sorry.
Taxpayers.
Yeah.
Taxpayers pay for these defaulted loans.
Mm-hmm.
Taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
This is why my new thing is that I believe the SBA should be dissolved.
Yeah.
It is not performing its mission, which was created in 1953. It wasn't performing its mission before COVID, and COVID has just held it up to a bright light to just show just how bad, how horrible of a federal agency this agency is. They should be completely disbanded. There's going to be a massive wave of defaulted SBA EIDL loans because those businesses did not get enough in the beginning because the moron running the SBA in 2020 put an artificial cap, $150,000. Their application was terrible, so all you people out there made mistakes on filling in the application, so you got declined or you didn't get enough money because of your own idiocy. It's a Linda Ray word. And then there's the increase come out in April, of which, hundreds of thousands of businesses asked for the increase and didn't get it yet or will never get it. And now we're seeing this whole cash flow nonsense for high revenue businesses that could qualify for more than $500,000. And they're not getting it either because they took deductions on their tax return. So there's going to be a wave of defaults. Oh, it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
There's going to be a wave of defaults for business. Forget about the businesses that are going to fail anyway or have failed anyway just because of COVID. There are many of them, but I'm talking about all of you guys who are waiting for this money desperately. We had a factory last July. He contacts me. He goes, if I don't get this money soon, I'm running on fumes over here. I'm going to be out of business permanently in the next 3 weeks. And just like Isal, we got a contact from an SBA loan officer not long after, and she was amazing, and she was a rock star. And she not only gave him what we thought he was eligible for, she gave him much more by a little underwriting trick. So. But there are many businesses out there that are going to fail or have failed because of SBA's failure to get them this increased money in a timely manner. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad. Declination letters. Folks, don't take no for an answer. Keep going. ESOL is living, breathing proof.
But I think, too, also it's...
I just love tearing up the paper.
I know, but I think it's also very critical where y'all who have gotten funds and you're staying alive and your businesses, you're not closing your doors. I think this is the time where you need to sit down, whether it's with a team of people or consultants that you know, and really forecast and plan and really brainstorm and pivot and think of outside the box on things you can do for your business. The old ways don't open new doors. You know what I'm saying? And, what we have always done is not the way it should always be done. I'm screwing up all of those. But the point is, you can't just sit idly by and be like, all right, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. You can't. You can't. But this is, if you're fighting as hard for the SBA money, you need to fight harder for your business and your own creativity into your business on what you can do to create revenue. Anyway, I could go on and on about that. I mean, I've created, I don't know how many businesses. Some have done well.
Okay.
Some have not.
So we talked to this evening's show about this. I just got an email from a client I want to share.
Mm-hmm.
We talked on tonight's show about cash flow analysis and some of the tricks that we recommend. So if you're watching this on the replay, you have to back up to that, or you click down below. Linda will tag it with the timestamp. So we have a client who's a property management firm out in California, and they hired us to get more than $500,000, and he got contacted by an SBA loan officer the other day who was asking for some information. So we're putting that together, but he's one of the clients. I asked him to review his tax return with his CPA. By the way, I just realized he never got back to us on that. So he's got, because I want to, we have a problem with the net income on his tax return. It's low. And I'm looking for any way to juice that bottom line so I can say to the loan officer, well, look, we've got some add backs. We've got a one-time expense, or we've got expenses that are no longer existing, or they've gone down dramatically because of COVID, or because we laid people off, or because we sold equipment, or whatever. But he just sent me a screenshot of his portal, which is one of the things we asked some of our clients to do, and it's got his eligibility amount there, $1,357,600.
Yeah.
And it says your loan modification being processed. Now, I don't know, this is kind of new for us, this part of the process, this cash flow thing. We'll see. We'll keep you up to date on things. So,
hi. Okay,
so I said a moment ago about the emails, the strange emails that we see people are getting. And one of our clients just got one. I don't know if you can read it on the screen. It's not reading. Okay, let me read it out loud. We received your request for reconsideration of your COVID-19. And by the way, to Isal and a couple of other people, this email came from do not reply pdc.reconsideration5@sba.gov. It did not come from COVID EIDL increase. And this file is an increase file. Dear applicant, we received your request, blah, blah, blah. To continue processing your request, please complete the following steps. Number 1, log into your SBA portal. Number 2, after you log in, click on the button that says request reconsideration. Number 3, you'll be asked to upload documentation required as part of the reconsideration process. Number 4, once these steps are completed, you can submit the reconsideration request for processing. I don't even know what that 4th step means. What does that mean? Once these are completed, you can where? It doesn't tell you where. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we get these emails all the time, and then we log in, and there is no button to request reconsideration. And there are no requests for documents. So with a lot of the SBA communications, whether you call customer service, you speak to some person at customer service, or the portal, just, the old phrase, take it with a grain of salt. No, take it with 18 pounds of salt, because you can't trust it. What else you got for me, woman?
Well, Tom, here we go. Tom, hold on. First, Tom says...
Well, hold on, before we go into this, because Tom's got like 17 different posts. Tom, if you could take a minute, we'd like to try to answer your question.
I already know.
Okay.
He wants to know, how can I hire you? I have a company in New York City. It's his first time. My application is in from last year. So I don't know what first time means, because I just saw that and I did say first timers, it's over. December 31st, it was over. But he said, no, that's not.
First time on the show, maybe.
Right.
Okay. Well, Tom, welcome to the show. And I will tell you, Tom, that the color around your icon matches Kim and Stephanie's hair color, the cool fuchsia color in their profile pictures. I don't know if they're still on the show. Hi, Kashab Singh. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Good evening from very cold New England, where it is 20 degrees outside. I was just looking at the weather report a moment ago while Linda was talking to you, and we've got a really good chance of snow in the morning. We're going to get blizzard here in New England.
To your question, we are really, it's really tough. It really depends on your case. We have a survey on our website. You can go to auroraconsulting.biz. And, but we don't take everybody. I turned down, I don't know, like 3 or 4 people this week. It really depends on the case. So you'd have to go to our website, and I can put that in the chat, but there's a survey there and you can fill it out. I will review it and then we shall see. 23. See, you're in Colorado, Michael. I love Colorado. 5 inches of snow. I love it. I love snow.
Okay, I've checked email. So what else have we got? Michael, if you ask that question, I'm flying to Colorado tonight. No, he asked it once. If he asks it again.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't know. This is I wonder. Yeah, the SBA isn't, they're not sending press releases on these statistics, are they? No, they're not. No, they're talking about all their new programs.
You can be,
and I'm just wondering if the new program, so if they have a new program and you try to apply for this new program, I mean, is it going to be the shit show of the EIDL all over again?
Well, I can answer that. I have an answer to that. It's not even a roll of the dice. Look, we still have the dice. It is not a roll of dice. We did some SBA loans before COVID. They were a complete nightmare.
It was awful.
I told her, I said, I never want to do another. We closed the last one. It was for a beauty salon purchase. Oh my God.
That was it.
And I said to her, and it was $150,000. I said to her, I don't want to ever do another SBA loan as long as I live.
When we're done with EIDL, people, we are retiring from financial services. Retired mortgage loan.
But we had made the decision before COVID, we were done with SBA. We were going in a whole different direction with our finance practice when COVID wiped it out. But
yeah, there you go. So, all right. Anything else? If you do have a question, now's the time, because we're shutting it. It's been an hour and a half. Our shows have gotten longer when I thought we were going to have to provide less information. The whole goal was for SBA to approve your loans. And we figured, okay, we won't have to even go live. What are we going to talk about?
We seem to have plenty to talk about. So, Tom, I don't know who sent you the email, because this email for PO22 comes from one of two sources. If you have a reconsideration or an increase request in process, if it comes from, if you get an email or a phone call from a loan officer, I'm working on your file to approve your reconsideration or to approve your increase, I need you to log into the portal and accept the eligibility amount, and then I need you to send me a PO22 with the loan amount in that box. That's great. That means that you are moving forward your approval. On the other hand, what we see more often than not, and I'm talking 90% of the time, is that this request from PO22 comes from a completely different source at SBA.
Yeah.
It comes from the paralegals in the post-closing record-keeping department. That means you got an original SBA loan. They send you an email that says, as per the terms of your SBA EIDL loan authorization agreement, EIDL LAA, you are required to have a board meeting to agree to accept the loan amount. Please use please go to this link and download this form, which is PO22, complete the form and send it in. That's just record keeping. We get them 4 or 5 of them a week for our clients. They get all excited, like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing from SBA. And all it is record keeping.
Yes,
so I hope that helps you, Tom.
All right. So Tulsa, I'm putting.
Hold on. Tom said they said that correct.
Yes.
So they did say that. what? That they were working. They said what, Tom? They were working on approving your loan. Oh, never got SBA before? Okay, so they're working on approving your loan. Good.
Okay, good.
Tulsa Knights wants to hire us. Great.
Sent a link. I put a link in the chat. Is it not up to it? Yeah.
3 months?
What?
Totally normal.
That's totally
We've had loan
normal.
approvals that were almost 2 years.
We just
Year
had,
and a half.
Hold on. Let me just say this, okay? We just had a woman who hired us on January 8th
Last year.
of last year. Why are you stealing my thunder? Last year, okay? And just got funded yesterday. Okay? Okay.
Okay. Okay. I love how she does that. Okay. Okay.
So, Tom, the link is in the chat, my friends, because we have a survey and it's a strict eligibility survey.
Isal's got a good question. Hold on. Isal,
Okay.
the IRS will send a tax transcript to a valid requestor. I was in the mortgage business. We requested them all the time. So it has to be a valid requestor. Does the IRS have problems with identity theft? Of course they do. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Especially with the stimulus checks. Oh, my heavens. With the stimulus checks?
Yeah.
Listen, I know about it, but I'm telling, because I know some internal things, but I'm just telling you folks, it hasn't even come out in the news yet.
Right,
How much stimulus fraud came out because of the stimulus checks with fake tax returns that were filed just to get a stimulus check.
All right. So, Eduard.
Well, I don't want to answer this question because there's not enough detail.
Yeah.
Eduard,
have you been approved and you're waiting?
can you take a moment to just type out don't go long-winded, but a more detailed question than that?
What is
because we can't ask that.
SBA 6?
Can't answer this question, Raina. We don't know what it means.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I know what it means. Hold on. Put Raina back up. All right. So, Raina, it looks like you're looking at the portal.
Oh, yes.
And you're seeing a task on the portal. I'm going to bet it's an amber color. And that is not for you. That's an internal code for somebody working on your file at the SBA.
Is there anyone here who has, because I've seen this a lot recently, the waived. People are asking, what does it mean? What does waived mean?
Oh, yeah. If you go into your portal and it's asking for a document like a voided check or a credit explanation,
it means you do nothing.
It's going to say one of several things over there. It's going to say required, which means you have to upload it.
Yeah.
It's going to then, when you upload this stuff and you hit the continue button at the bottom, the continue button at the bottom, and you go to the home page, I always cycle back into the documents page to make sure. Then it should say either received or in review. Okay. It may also say waived, W-A-I. Thank you, Skip. It may also say waived, W-A-I-V-E-D, which means that internally they have waived it. But funny thing I see all the time with SBA portal, it'll say voided check, waived, and then right below that, it's asking for a voided check, required. That's why I said if the portal is a complete mess.
Yes.
So if you're going to submit documents.
There's also one other notification that people get confused about where it'll say internal only.
Yeah.
That means it's an SBA note for internal internal reps and internal personnel. For them, it has nothing to do with you, and you don't have to worry. It means somebody is looking at your file and you're not declined. Yes.
Well, maybe.
Not yet,
Maybe
anyway.
declined.
I know. Okay, this is no. All right. Yes. Neither do we.
And Pam, you know, we've kind of sort of basically stopped drinking.
Yesterday.
No, seriously. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even think I keep whiskey in the house anymore.
They told me I needed a product. That's good.
I said to her a couple of days ago, hey, you want to crack open a bottle of wine? She said, no, I'm busy. I'm working on files.
And a business plan. All right. You need to go back to our, we're not doing this again.
Gene Leonard.
We have 2 videos on it.
Gina, what you need to do is buy our roadmap to reconsideration, which will show you everything you need to do. And by the way, business plan, and go ahead and submit it, but that's not really what you need.
Yeah.
You need a different form, and we tell you what the form is in roadmap.
And
not trying to be coy. So if you've been on the show tonight and you're not one of our clients, if you've been on the show before, like Michael, Writer Sanctuary, and other folks. You Michael Bowman also.
Bowen.
You might have noticed that we're pointing a lot of people to Roadmap to Reconsideration. The reason being, we've done an analysis on the amount of time we spend on these shows answering free questions. We used to do free 15-minute phone consultations.
Sancho!
Hello, Sancho. And we have discovered through our analysis that many folks seem to be takers. And
It's all right. Listen, you know what? He's only bringing this up.
Please let me finish.
No.
They take our free advice. They don't write Google reviews, which is all we ask to do. They don't subscribe to our channel. They don't give us thumbs up.
Someone actually stole our roadmap last week.
Someone stole our roadmap.
Said they didn't get it.
The guy stole it.
They did.
He stole it. But we've decided we're going to give away just enough, and that's what this show is. But in terms of more detail, that's why we say to whoever that person was on just a minute ago, I've lost him. But, buy our roadmap.
Oh, about the P&L.
About the profit and loss. If you want to really be successful, instead of just sending in the profit and loss, G. Leonard, you should follow the advice in our roadmap.
Or you can hunt through all of our videos, because not only did we do a live and we went into it.
Or you could buy our roadmap to reconsideration.
Okay, so we can wrap it up.
Okay, hold on. Edward has come back. Thank you for being more specific, Edward.
Okay, yeah.
I've been initially approved by NIST, but they've gone silent since I followed them, and they said, Edward, all you can do is wait. So 2 weeks ago, on the phone with a really good loan officer, he said, okay, I interacted with him. I answered his questions.
I have 8% on my battery.
I submitted the documents, and he called me back the next day and said, Trevor, thank you. I'm recommending this file for approval. As you know, Trevor, it goes to another level. He said, and quote, all we can do is wait. Yeah. And that, Edward, has been our ongoing advice to all of you folks, to our own clients. When I was on Facebook giving advice, same thing. All you can do is wait. Just hang in there. And if you are declined, don't take no for an answer. File a reconsideration, and our roadmap to reconsideration will help you to do that. And Edward, no, we cannot provide final insight because we don't know how it works at the SBA. All we know is it's dysfunctional.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually,
I think how to get it moving, you can't. All you can do is wait.
Yeah.
They're either going to approve you or they're going to decline you.
Yeah.
Or they're going to ask for more paperwork.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. I have 8% on my battery. Evidently, when we're live, my battery is only good for an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, why isn't it plugged in?
Because I didn't know we were going to be on for this long.
All right. Well, folks, I want to thank you all for tuning in.
Yes, and if you're still here, I do want to just say, please subscribe to our Simple Sense for Small Business. It is not specific to EIDL, but we talk a lot about things that we've learned and mistakes in running a business, and
insights we share to help you be more successful with the business.
And it's a podcast channel. We just started doing the videos instead of just audio. We would love for you guys to subscribe to that. We're trying to get to 500 because then I get the community tab and I don't have to clutter this channel with my announcements of that channel.
If you found our information helpful this evening, please go to our Google review page and write a review.
Yes.
Do it right now.
There's a link in the description.
Don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the little bell with the notifications. YouTube actually tells YouTubers that we should do that. So that's why she argues with me, but
yeah, so there you go. All right.
Michael, where's my Trevor Singing channel?
Yes,
we're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Cheers, folks.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Zeke.
Stephanie.
Thank you, everyone.
Doug Freitas.
Yes.
Ricardo Hall. Kathy Lee. Vicky.
So many wonderful
Sancho.
people. And who else contributed? Izal, thank you, Izal. And Izal, I'm going to have to excerpt the little bit about you being declined final and then getting an email.
That might have to be a whole video all by itself.
That might have to be a whole video. So
we wish you all the best. We hope you get funded.
And there you go. Ciao for now.
Stay warm. Take care.